Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. And this is the video series that I've been wanting to do for months. And finally we're doing this. In which this series will feature, well, it's going to be mainly set and confined in and around the Sicily region. Now, when we say Sicily, we don't mean just the island of Sicily, but it also consists of southern Italy as well, in which that will be the focus for this new video series. And before I tell you of who's that man there that I will be playing as of the start, there's been 2 new DLCs that will be featured in this video series. Which is the reason why we kept getting delayed and delayed because of new DLCs, therefore mods become incompatible and I have to wait until all the ones that I like to use are compatible. But I'm willing to not use a couple for this series, but I don't think it's that big of a deal because it would be, again, focused on this relevant region and not, anywhere else. One of those DLCs that was recently, well, I wouldn't say recently released, but it was released months ago, but now it featured in this playthrough. One of which is Roads to Power. Lead a noble family in an ancient empire, using influence and intrigue to secure a place, or be a wandering mercenary, building a reputation as a fixer or outlaw. New events, government systems, schemes, and lifestyles are yours to explore with Roads to Power. And, where's the other one? That was also recently released. Oh yeah, and there's also West Slavic attire. That's for the West Slavic cultures. If you're Polish, Czech, or Slovak, or any other ones, that's of that culture group. Yeah, here it is. Wandering Nobles is the other DLC that will be featured in this series. Brings new content to several beloved systems. Travel, activities, and lifestyles. Send your rulers on thrilling journeys when in pursuit of wealth, prestige, or personal growth. Don't let them sit idle. Adventure awaits at every turn. So before I hit continue with this, let me go to the new game just to show you the screen of who's this man and what that series will be about. Obviously you're going to be starting 867. It's part of Rice. And this is the man. Emir Sawdan, 37, Duke of Apulia, or Emirate of Bari. Muslim adventurers formed the Emirate of Bari in 847 CE after conquering parts of southern Italy. Though much of the Muslim world ignores Bari as a backwater, their latest leader, Sawdan, just acquired the title of governor from the Abbasids in 864. It is little comfort, for he faces an imminent Christian invasion, led by King Louis II of Italy, and would defeat and overthrow him in 871. Cruel, cunning, righteous, wise, no matter how you choose to rule, can he defend the frontier of Dar al-Islam and plant the seeds of Islam in Italy? As the Rice Flavor Pack focus is Sardinia a bit, which obviously that will not be the focus of that series, but it'll be Sicily. That's the main theme for that series. Sicily. And we go back. So I'm gonna hit continue instead. So this is Emir Sawdan of the Mari Imara. Not Saldanid, which is what they used to have that name for flavor. No, vanilla. That's the word you're looking for. In both CK2 and CK3. Because they call his dynasty Sawdanid, as if his descendants come from this man, as if he accomplished something great. But no, it's Mari, which is a name that I'll explain in a moment. There's a load here. And this is what this series is going to be about. The Sicilian Frontier. Sicily was the first of our provinces. Sicily first taught our ancestors how glorious it could be to rule other peoples. So said the great Roman Cicero, long before Rome declined in the west. Sicily, crucible of the Mediterranean, is now a wild frontier where three worlds meet: Islam, Byzantium, and the Latin West. Many covet Sicily and its abundance, but would-be conquerors and settlers often find that behind this paradise is a liminal land where the boundaries between culture, faith, and loyalty can be very blurry. Yet, no matter what, Sicily is still our beloved, beautiful home. As I'm one of the involved participants in this Sicilian frontier, the region is currently in a phase of borderlands. The actions and those of the other participants will determine the future phases of the struggle and its ending. So yes, this is another video series I'll be doing with another struggle. Which the last time we did one of those struggles was with the Zimbil series with the Iranian intermezzo, though short-lived as it was. And prior to that we did the Sri Lanka struggle, the Sangha struggle. And then before that, the North Atlantic colonization of Greenland struggle. So I just like doing struggles. It's just like, that's kind of like my thing, just to make things interesting here. But now, this Sicilian frontier of what if the current phase that we're on is borderlands. So, divided between faiths, cultures, and realms, the Sicilian frontier is fought over by many invaders and warlords. The presence of strong, capable rulers, whether local leaders or outside conquerors, can turn Sicily into a prosperous, if volatile colony. However, constant warfare risks devastating the region, perhaps permanently, and turning the formerly flourishing land into a periphery between three worlds. Going to be learning these terms in a moment. So this is what the struggle phase effects has currently in Borderlands. The common war effects are: unlocks the character interaction to ask for an expedition to the Sicilian frontier. More on that later. When taking the decision to recruit soldiers from Sicily, require trade experience for the Sicilian Signori to choose soldiers of different worlds is reduced. Frontier raids in the Sicilian frontier have a higher chance of creating Sicilian strongholds in the target county. Struggle clash got smaller, cheaper. Involved and interloper characters have shorter truces for wars within the struggle region. Same that pays less pie to start wars within the region. Wars within the region also cost less prestige. Involved and interloper characters also pay less for wars against characters of a different faith. Any effect for those involved: mercenary hire costs are reduced. Levy reinforcement rate increased by 10%, plus 10%. Glory Hound personality, energy, and boldness plus 75. For culture, the common culture effect: promote culture proceeds slower within the struggle region. And for those involved, learning a new language provides prestige. Releasing prisoners of different culture provides prestige. Hybridizing cultures is easier for involved and interloper characters. Vassals of a different culture are more likely to use the minority's vassal stance. Opinion of different cultures go up, and learn language phases 10 days faster. For faith, converting into an involved faith is less expensive. Interfaith marriages are available between involved characters. Convert faith in county proceeds slower within the struggle region at this current phase. Opinions of different faiths go up, and minus 10% cheaper conversion cost to another faith. And finally, here's other, and this is the most important. Development growth goes up, while control decline goes down over time. Plus 25 danger when traveling, and the decision to support the medical school of Salerno is more expensive. Now for those involved, claim liege title interaction for powerful vassals, unlock claim throne scheme for powerful vassals against involved rulers. Involved characters can purchase truces from each other. You can also buy, claim, demand payment, foment revolts and actually gets other rulers. Inviting Norse settlers costs less gold. And inviting Norman settlers also costs less gold, even for those not involved in the consolidation of Normandy, which is another struggle, which one day I'll do that series in the far future for the Norman-themed video series. Also, castles, city, and temple buildings are cheaper, especially castle buildings, as it's minus 20% compared to -5 for cities and temples. House Mari will tame the Sicilian frontier, so now let's get into the background, as this is the current version of Rice. So the latest flavor pack that was released was Lesbos, the Island of Poets, which obviously Lesbos, that tournament over there, is not going to be the focus for that, but it does add a bit of content which is actually relevant for the Mediterranean area, the whole Mediterranean region. But anyways, let's say this quote, even though it's from a world away. Haricho was an 8th century Korean Buddhist monk who traveled through much of Asia to go on a pilgrimage to India, similar to the more famous Zhongzhuang the century before him. His travelogue, a memoir of a pilgrimage to the 5 kingdoms of India, was a valuable source of information on various Asian and Middle Eastern cultures and politics during the early medieval period. The reason why that version's called that is because they added more things related to travel and landless adventures, especially landless characters. That was added by the Rice mod, not just by Vanilla CK3. Let me take a drink. The frontier of Dar al-Islam. I rule at the very edge of Dar al-Islam, the house of monotheism. Yet, for all the blood, sweat, and tears we gave to defend this frontier of Islam in Italia, the Muslim world still ignores us. It took years for the Abbasid caliphs to even acknowledge me as governor of this land and give us symbolic support. We are dismissed as a lost cause, especially now that the Christian armies of Imperator Augustus Louis are on our doorstep. But a frontier has a funny way of providing opportunities. For instance, the same infidels who threaten us could, with negotiation or a little gold, be convinced to ally with us. After all, we have engaged in productive trade and diplomacy with some of them, especially that we shared mutual enemies. Whatever happens, I know that the fate of Islam in this peninsula will be decided under my leadership. The Muslim world will one day appreciate our sacrifices, so we'll gain an aspiration, establish Muslim foothold in southern Italy. More on that in a few minutes. So here's some historical context that people need to know. The Emirate of Bari was a notable Islamic state in mainland Italy, lasting from 847 CE, when it was established by Arab and Berber adventurers, until 871 CE, when Bari fell to the forces of the Frankish Emperor Louis II. The third ruler of Bari, Sawdan, came to power around 857. His origin is debated. He might have been of Sicilian, Arab, Berber, or even sub-Saharan African origin. Since the Emirate of Bari was essentially an unstable frontier, it never attracted much support from the Islamic world. It took years, for instance, for Sawdan to be acknowledged as governor by the Abbasid government, a title that in fact had been previously requested by his predecessor, Mufarrag. Regardless, Sawdan's depiction in the primary sources is conflicting. Christian sources portray him as a ruthless tyrant and treacherous snake, while Muslim and Jewish sources depict him as a learned, just, productive ruler who had a friend, a Jewish scholar, Abu Aaron. After Bari fell in 871, Sawdan's eventual fate is uncertain. He may have been executed, fled to Taranto, or imprisoned by Louis before Syria's Louis' advisor. If the latter is true, he supposedly played Louis and the Lombards off against each other for some time. So that's a bit of background and a bit of a history of this short-lived Islamic state in southern Italy, which made little to no impact on the region as a whole when you think about the legacy. But still, the Arab-Berber populations in southern Italy actually persisted decades after this. And of course, we're using the Dark Ages mod, which is a mainstay when I do CK3 playthroughs on the Lord Master channel. As you people have seen a couple of series to know what this is about and what it does. It just makes the game a bit more difficult because I like challenging. I like a good challenge, as I'm a veteran Dark Ages already. So you gain 1 prestige, piety, gold, and renown. Now, here's a bit more. Sawdan's past. It's been a long journey for me to become the leader of a small Muslim community in Sicily. We truly come from all over the world to this frontier. Some of us already have roots in insular Italy, as settlers who arrived there from elsewhere, or the descendants of such. Others have come afar, from Andalusia, Egypt, the coast of Africa, the Amazigh hinterlands, or even deep within Africa, among other places. As for me, I came from. This is where they give you those choices. You either remain Siculo-Arabic, or you adopt Andalusian, Egyptian, Maghrebi, or the 2 Berber cultures such as Amazigh or Zanata, or deep from within Africa as either Sarikule, Menika, Azwaga, and Migiti, which is Nubian. But simply for the sake of this theme, we're going to stick with the default for Sicily, which he will be of the Siculo-Arabic culture. So we can assume, for the sake of roleplay, and again, historical sources back then, based on what was written, is unknown about his ethnic origin. So we can just assume, for the sake of storytelling, that he's Siculo-Arabic, so we can assume that he came from Sicily. And he was one of those, again, those adventurers amongst them that moved to there, and now he's governor. Whatever the case, I've already ruled this land for many years, working hard to continue the efforts of our predecessors. All that effort, however, might be for naught, now that the armies of Imperator Augustus Louis threaten our existence. Even if he is defeated, more will follow. We are the starting point for a future Italia, one properly ruled by the righteous followers of Allah. But that future won't come to pass if we don't do our utmost to protect our new home and tame this frontier. We must be careful as to what our next steps are. So here's 4 choices. We will build relations with Muslim authorities, which you gain diplomacy by 1, 150 piety, and 50 trade experience in Arab-Berber as part of the Sicilian Signory. Second choice. We must focus building our own strength to survive. So +1 martial, and you get a 300-man army in Bari. We can encourage trade and raids to fill our coffers, stewardship +1, and gain 50 gold. Or we will find infidels who we share mutual enemies with, which your increase by 1, while you gain 150 prestige, while gain 25 trade experience in Latin and Greek. So what is Italian Signory? That is a fame trait that everybody has within the struggle region. This character is the ruler of some other notable who has some level of influence over the politics and society of the Sicilian Frontier. So it's a +1 for diplomacy and stewardship for free for those who live in there. Increase the trait path of any of these worlds. You will gain more prestige and diplomacy and stewardship. So now let's explain more of the Sicilian Frontier. The Sicilian Frontier is a repeatable struggle that depicts centuries of political, cultural, and religious dynamism in southern Italy. A frontier which lay between 3 worlds, Latin, Greek, and Arab-Berber. In this wild border zone where identities, beliefs, and loyalties are blurry, Involved rulers are acknowledged with the Sicilian Signory trait, which represents their connections to the three worlds. The influence of the three worlds are also measured through their dominance. The struggle shifts between the borderlands and colony phases, and can temporarily come to a conclusion with the periphery or imperiality phases. However, the struggle can be then be restarted. Thus, to permanently end the struggle, the decision to turn this frontier to Dominion or Crossroads has to be taken. Now, those three worlds. Historically, the medieval Sicilian frontier was influenced by various ways by the three worlds: the Latin, Greek, and Arab-Berber worlds. In-game, they are represented by the colors blue, purple, and green respectively. The three worlds' influence is reflected by each of the world's dons, an abstracted global value. Rulers cannot directly change dominance values. The values merely reflect on how many rulers, counties, or strongholds in Sicily are of each world, as well as the trade experience of rulers in the Sicilian Signory trait. So, now let's talk about those three worlds briefly. The Latin world represents the people, idea, and beliefs more associated with the Latin West Sicilian frontier. To be considered part of the Latin world in-game, a character or county must be from a culture that is either Latine, French, or Hispano heritage, or follow the faith that has the papacy as its head of faith. Do note these requirements may vary somewhat depending on the mods one uses. Additionally, it is possible for a ruler to be part of multiple worlds. Like, say, a Siculo-Arabic character like Sawdan here, if he were a Catholic and he's catering to both Arab-Berber and Latin worlds. Greek world is more associated with Byzantium. So, to be considered part of the Greek world in game, the character or county must be from a culture as either of the Roman heritage or follow a faith that has the ecumenical patriarch as its head of faith, or is in a Greco-Roman religion. And Arab-Berber, more associated with Islam. To be part of it, you got to be a character or county that's from a culture of either Imazighan or Arab heritage, or follow a faith that is in the Muslim, Yakushites, or Semitic religions. Based on the situation here in the practicality, and I do notice the starting gold is 251, so we do not need this money. We're in good hands here. And I see that we have our own expeditionary forces, and I'd like to get more, but this is too small. There are other ways to do this, so we will decide that we will find infidels who we share mutual enemies with. So we will gain the trait experience of Latins and Greeks. We need to negotiate with them instead of our own, because we're practically alone in this part of the world. So here it is. And do note, and this is the most important mod that I'm using for this Sicilian struggle playthrough, because Southern Italy and Sicily, vanilla, within the struggle region, I felt it's a bit too small. Though not as small like, say, Sri Lanka over there, back in the old series I did, French struggle. I'm using the more provinces expanded mod, because look at the counties on the inside. A lot. So meaning in near future there will be a lot more involved characters doing other things that would contribute to all of this. Especially the catalyst towards either periphery or colonization. There are many ways to do it, so these are the catalysts towards periphery, as I don't need to read long, but you can see what it does. Had to take a drink. And for colonization, because obviously if you don't want a premature ending to the struggle before we started, you want to go for colonization, but that's a bit difficult unless everybody plays its part. Yes, there's Mediterranean pirates, more on that later. And yes, there's Sicilian grain. Sicily was renowned in the ancient and medieval times as an exporter of grain, and this had political ramifications. There are a couple of interactions that rulers could take related to this. First, rulers who own at least one county on the island of Sicily could send shipments of Sicilian grain to other rulers. Conversely, rulers outside of Insular Italy can request shipments of Sicilian grain. These interactions provide various bonuses for both parties. In particular, positive county modifiers improving the counties of the rulers receiving the grain. However, accepting or rejecting such a grain deal can have a positive or negative political reaction from the court or counties of either ruler too. So there's that. Expedition. During the Borderlands phase, rulers who are involved in the Sicilian Frontier can ask foreign rulers who aren't too far from Sicily to aid them against their rivals in the Sicilian Frontier. By asking them through special interaction to launch an expedition against said rivals, it starts a war which, if the foreign ruler wins, will result them in gaining the territory, or placing one of their courtiers as the new ruler. You can even ask rulers of other faiths to do so, though it will be harder to do so. Giving further payment of gold or military assistance will increase the chances of the foreign ruler will agree to this. A successful expedition can also result in the target territory gaining a Sicilian stronghold if the foreign ruler belongs to one of the three worlds. And we mentioned Sicilian stronghold. What's this? Sicilian strongholds are county modifiers that have some mechanics related to the struggle. They don't represent minorities per se, but local centers of power, military bases, and remnant bastions of various groups. In and of themselves, they don't have any direct effects, but they can unlock decisions, trigger events, and more. Strongholds always correspond to one of the three worlds of Sicily, as we know who they are. While strongholds unlock the ability to recruit soldiers of that world via decision, they also cause occasional decreases to control and development. To avoid the latter, you can pay them off through a decision to bargain with the Sicilian strongholds. So, there you have it. So, periphery is the one that's ends prematurely, which we'll talk about that in another episode if it goes down that path. And there's two ways to end the struggle, but however, in a second, for example, there's only one way to get it: Grand Signori Dynasty Legacy. And same for Crossroads. You've got to have this, and among other things. Now let me go to House Murray. Rile not the ego. That's our motto. Founded in 2 AD. That's a bit of an error. or whatever that's typo. But anyways, basically whenever that man was born, well, born 37 years ago, so that's when that house was founded. But anyways, open the legacies. Finding our destiny and home in the frontiers between three worlds. So you gotta get this, that, and that. If you want to end the struggle permanently, you got to have this. So we're in for a bit of a time here. So now, also in the game rules prior to recording this video series, because of the sheer size of, using a more provinces expanded mod where there's a lot more counties inside nowadays instead of what it was in vanilla, I had to increase the domain limit when the game rules to +3, which means independent rulers can now hold more land, thus making them slightly stronger and obviously richer in terms of tax income for all the lands that they hold, and more so. So now it's been 30 minutes, so let's talk about Amir Sawdan. Who is he? He is gregarious. He is temperate, which is a virtue amongst the Asharis, and he is just, also a virtue. He's got a level 4 stewardship education, which is a great one to start off with, which makes him more of an administrator than military leader or adventurer, whatever he was doing in his past, which he was born in 830s. So basically, he was already a young child when those so-called Saracens or Moors first came onto the scene. And by the way, the Maori name, that name there, just a little fun fact. The native inhabitants of South Italy have come to know Emir Sawdan, this man here, as a Maurus or Moor, a term which would soon be adopted for him by the Arabs. So the Maori is an Arabic word for Moor, which, the term Moor used to describe Berbers or Amazigh or some other ethnic that went up to Italy and Sardinia. That's what they were known as, I believe, at that time. So basically, House Moor. So there's the trade path. So, even after the decline of Roman authority, the Sicilian frontier is still home to large numbers of peoples of Latin origins. Their presence ties the region closer to the rest of Western Europe. 25 trading expense for Greeks. In the olden days, the Greeks colonized the Sicilian frontier, calling it Magna Graecia. Despite centuries of Latin rule, Greeks still have a major presence in the region and close ties with the brethren in Greece proper. And then there's us, Arab-Berbers. Since the days of the ancient Carthaginians, the Sicilian frontier has witnessed the presence of peoples originating from North Africa. They retain strong economic and political ties with their ancestral homelands. And since the character started off with just, which means it does increase the initial legitimacy, so he's recognized ruler. His wife, Mirazana, who's also a lover off the start. She's diligent, humble, and brave. Stewardship education is although not as good as him, but she is pretty. And he does have one friend, Abu Aaron of Babylon. They grew to enjoy each other's company, which happens to him at some point during his rule, which he's only been, let me see. Yeah, he's been ruling for 10 years now. Can't change succession law as this is male only, and past succession law because we are a clan government. Which last time I was clan government, it was from the Zunbil playthrough. And here's the aspiration. And this would be the early major goal for this series early on. Establish Muslim foothold in southern Italy. With the Abbasids in disarray, and with most Muslims dismissing the Emirate of Bari as a lawless frontier of Taoism, you must take the lead in defending the fledgling colony of Bari from all sorts of enemies if you are to permanently establish Islam in Italy. Objectives. Be an independent ruler. Rule over and or have more vassals to rule over at least 8 counties in mainland southern Italy. Even though since I'm using more provinces expanded, we already exceeded that. So that's slightly cheating, but there's a good reason for it. Have a level of devotion of devoted servant or higher, or a level of fame illustrious or higher. Take the decision to manage the Sicilian frontier at least once and remain a Muslim faith. So I can do all that. But the one thing I will withhold until the time is right, because I'm using that take decision to manage the Sicilian frontier whenever I become either devoted servant or illustrious. Like, just wait until the time is right. And the rewards it will give you: 1,000 piety, 1,000 prestige, 100 legitimacy, 1,000 special soldiers, including some men in arms, Plus 25 opinion from the head of five, if one exists, the Caliph himself. The decision to manage the frontier is permanently cheaper. The other bonus objectives, if you were to do so prior to completing the main, take the decision to recruit soldiers from Sicily at least once, which the reward will gain you a martial lifestyle perk. Be a king or emperor rank, or hold at least 3 duchy titles, which will reward you with 2,000 renown. And control the county of Rome itself, for 1,000 gold reward. Which, honestly, I don't think that would be wise for me to do that, because you do not want to trigger the Crusades that early. If you were to take Rome, leave that alone. Plus, you're in the land of plenty, so we could get money by other means. Especially if we have to do frontier raids. Another good source of loot. So, now, let's get down to business. He's of stewardship education, so he already has these perks. Defensive measures, good, Garrison. So, we're in a defensive war here, so this is good timing. And whenever we settle things down, build buildings. And build it fast. And a popular figurehead. So those counties that are ruler, although they're of the wrong culture and wrong faith compared to mine, they'll be slightly less hostile towards me. So we have to cooperate with them at some point. Eventually I'll get another +1 domain limit, because I would like to be the architect. But I can get this easily by other means. So instead, and they tell me to hold 2 more duchies in addition to the one I already hold. So I'm actually going to go for diplomacy focus. Get this perk and get that. If you want those duchy tiles, make it cheaper to create. So I'm willing to do this. It'll take a long time to get a perk, unless we get lucky with events or go to places where it'll give you some lifestyle experience. Earlier we mentioned Mediterranean pirates. The pirates and corsairs of the Mediterranean are represented in several different ways in the game. First, rulers who meet certain conditions along the Mediterranean can take a decision to construct a special building called a Mediterranean Pirate Den. It has a number of military and economic bonuses, and a few counties even have this building already in place at the start of the game. Usually those who are historically famous for hosting pirates or working with them, like the Italian republics. There is also a decision to contact Mediterranean pirates with several options. Most options are unlocked through having a Mediterranean pirate den in your territory, or the Mediterranean Pirate Connections modifier, which is gained through the Establish Relations option of the aforementioned decision. Now look here. Yeah, there's a lot that you could do, including contact Mediterranean pirates, and you can acquire booty, authorize sales, recruit corsairs, or ransom captives. But the thing about it is, I don't want to do business with pirates. That would probably be somewhere down the line. A ruler who isn't just like Sawdan would be willing to make deals with pirates. Plus it costs you a bit of legitimacy for that, and a bit of dread. We have other means too, to help us for the defense of our nation. Speaking of that, we have the Abu Dara, which is a man-at-arms that's only good at mountain fighting in the hills. Not so good in deserts though, but the problem is there's hardly any hills in our general vicinity. That's further up. And that's a cultural man-at-arms that comes from the Amazigh culture, mountain herding. That's where they come from. So it's imported here. And for some reason, we brought camels along with us. They're only good at desert fighting. Not so good in hills nor mountains. But here in the plains, it's neutral. Let me station them. Just to add a bit more addition. And these are expeditionary forces that we came with. It's got levies. It also has the Maburizun in Arabic cultural men-at-arms. Good against spearmen and heavy infantry. Sicilian archers, unique to us Siculo-Arabic, which as archers are good against skirmishers, but additionally they're good at fighting in hills, forests, drylands, and in plains. Now we also have light horsemen, very well in plains, drylands, not so good in higher elevations. And we are woefully undermanned in the Khorasan. We can recruit some good fighting men, so we should do that. It's going to take months for the enemy army to get here, so there's still time for preparation before I raise them. Ideally, raise the army in July, because I want to make a bit more tax before we raise them. So we need to invite the Khorasan, so we need more able-bodied men to come over here. In addition, recruit soldiers from Sicily. The Sicilian Frontier is home to many soldiers who will fight for us for the right price. Which, bear in mind, here in Bari, this is a home of a Greek stronghold. This part of Sicily is home to a community of Greek soldiers and colonists, or the descendants of such who live in a fortified settlement, regardless of whether they are part of the local ethnic or religious majority or minority. They will defend their homes fiercely and also engage in raids and attacks, even against their fellow co-religionists. This gives you the decision to recruit Greeks. It makes them cheaper, and the decision to bargain with them. The owner of the county may receive occasional events that provide different bonuses or malices depending on their trait path in the Sicilian seniority trait. There's also a chance that the stronghold will be destroyed if this county is a target of a successful frontier raid. Increases Greek dominance in the frontier, currently at 91. Some other places do have them, like say in Capua. This also has a Latin stronghold, and also an Arab-Berber stronghold over there, which historically, that particular stronghold lasted until 915 AD. They stood there decades after the Emirate of Bari fell. But you can make deals with them, like we're about to do now with the Greeks. So, logically, we can only make deals with the Greeks. While denigrated as deceitful traitors by their enemies, the Greeks are well accustomed to defending their homelands. These remnants of Roman rule in southern Italy remind all of the empire's might, or former might. For doing that, gain 8 trade experience in Greek. Gain anywhere from 200 to 1,000 special soldiers, including at least 1 man-at-arms regiment of Carafactoi, which is a heavy cavalry that is devastating against archers. Fights very well in the plains, drowns, but not so good in higher elevations nor winter. I'll be losing a bit of legitimacy for this, but it'll be worth it. And there's also a 21% chance that a Greek Sicilian strong will appear somewhere in a county that I own in Sicily. This will cost you 40 gold and 150 prestige. Search for potential recruits now. Do it. So, again, the turbulent Sicilian Frontier is home to many skill in battle. From adventurers seeking fortune to local veterans who have defended their homes from one too many a raid. There are always those willing to fight for rulers like me, if they're given the right incentives. I sent word to Greek communities, both those living within my realm and those living in foreign lands, that I'm recruiting Greek soldiers into my army. While denigrators, deceitful traitors by their enemies, they consider themselves the heirs of the mighty Romans after all. Whether they are fresh, eager recruits or experienced veterans, their numbers and talents will surely bolster my military strength. Sicily has long existed as a frontier between different worlds, so the presence of soldiers from all corners of the world is hardly unheard of. In a region like this, there's always opportunity for military adventurers willing to embrace new challenges and new cultures. They'll serve the realm well. Let's see how much we get. Oh, we got a stronghold. Consenza, down in the south. A new Greek stronghold has appeared. So the expeditionary forces would start off with 150. We got 450 from the Greeks that we just got. We've got their bowmen, cataphracts, and light footmen. And an additional 50 more cataphracts, along with the other levies that also came with. So 600 total. That's pretty good. But we could do a bit more than maybe. Because we're looking for fighting men. Because these men in arms here, even though we'd be facing forces of Universum Regnum, Italy, that they may have a large army. But I firmly believe that the skills of individual fighters may win us out here. So additionally, I'm going to invite Norse settlers. The Norse of Northern Europe are notorious for their raids and hostility to civilized peoples like ourselves. However, some of it could be reasoned with. I could invite more agreeable Norsemen abroad to settle in Mari to help me in various ways. Unique to Europe only. So I could choose between either receiving character modifiers, county modifiers, or courtier or special soldiers. Norse settlers may demand extra gold or even titles and react badly if negotiations fail. This decision costs more and longer cooldown if your capital is in Southern Europe as opposed to Northern Europe. As a reminder, for context, in contrast to idealized pop history image of Viking raiders as separate from less martial or more civilized Europeans, depending on your ideological slant, Norse relations with other societies are oftentimes rather complicated. For example, even after the Normans began to Christianize, they kept frequent contact with pagan Scandinavians who often came to settle in territories of the various lords of Normandy, or even fight for or against them, regardless of religious affiliation. Choose the kind settlers need to invite. We either need courtiers, which cost 75, colonists 150, mercenaries 150, traders 150, or rulers 150. So, honestly, I want to take a cheaper option because it would be nice to get more special soldiers of Norse origin, but I think that would be further down the line when we firmly establish ourselves. And hopefully luck plays a role as well. So honestly, I want to go for the option. 2 Norse courtiers will be spawned in your court who have a high rating and at least 1 skill, often martial and prowess. You can choose between one or both, and they may arrive with a family. So we're looking for fighting men, not just from the local cultures, including 1 Norseman. And what if the options are both women and we can't recruit them as part of the Fruzan? Well, one of them is at least going to be my secondary wife. Because, you know, as a Muslim ruler, you have this thing where you get to have multiple wives. It's for certain religions that do that. But bear in mind, this is a reason why I'm taking the cheaper option despite the higher amount of gold. They may ask for more money. So be aware of it. Send word to Scandinavia. I came into contact with a band of Northern Norse adventurers led by a man named Asbjorn Valmuli, who has expressed interest in serving me and moving into my territories. Of course, they would give me something in return. In particular, I told Asbjorn that I want one of his people to formally serve me as a courtier, and to act as an intermediary between myself and the newly settled Northmen. We initially agreed on the deal for me to pay these adventurers generously, but alas, my negotiations with Asbjorn went awry. The damned ruffian wants even more gold from me, more than the original amount we agreed to. I must respond to these preposterous demands carefully, lest these pirates get any funny ideas. Damn it. We spent 75 gold and now you want me to pay 91? Fine. The scoundrel will get what he wants. I had little choice but to agree to the demands that Asbjorn made, for the risks were too great. However, these Northmen are not completely honorless, for they otherwise agreed to fulfill their initial promises to me. I told Asbjorn that I want one of his people to act as intermediary between myself and the newly settled Northmen. He has offered to join my court as a result, though he says that if it doesn't work out, he can also recommend his associate, Frothe. Okay, let me examine you two. Oh! No wonder why you're so demanding. Because you're bold. And plus, you're a young man. A person of your youth. Who talks tall, who talks tough. Spoken like a true Norseman. Although he's a misguided warrior, so he would not be a good commander, but he'd be a damn good fighter. And this other man here? Huh. He's craven, shy, and arbitrary. So basically the complete opposite. Still a good fighter though, but it makes him less likely to get killed in action. But I want you. This young Northman is going to serve my army, and he's going to be the one who might be our, for the lack of a better term, and using modern term, force multiplier against the invading Christian army that's going to come down here to retake Bari. So I'll say, very well, you could stay here, you greedy bastard. Yeah, as we may not like each other. As I said, you're a greedy bastard. Though he's not greedy, he's just vengeful, brave, and rather lustful. I got my eye on you. Because the one thing you can't do around here in my court is you don't interact with my wife. She loves me more than anyone else. So 44 gold. And of course we need a physician. Check the guests. Because we know there are some experienced fighters that you may want to recruit. Like this man, Igni, fellow Siculo-Arabic. 15 gold. Alright, come on in. And we got a guest who is Ashkenaz, Makaba. That is a mystical sect of Judaism. Some influence of Gnostic teachings. So, an esoteric man, who is a wise man, an experienced wise man, and he's malnourished. Oh, I'm sorry. You should come in. He's an outstanding physician. We need someone like him to take care of us, even though he'll be loyal. Although I can't spend any more money on you, but this is the reason why I said wait until July to raise our army. And in addition, we may get some more recruits that'll come over here. So yeah, that's a big difference maker here. So it's been nearly an hour, so we could finally get time moving along. So, one more thing. Latin dominance, Greek dominance, Arab-Berber dominance. So now you know. Oh, and we need a tax collector. He's going to be our physician. You will be our tax collector. And plus you're an administrator. He's a Longobard, so... small additional things would do for us. Competent physician. But Abu Aaron here. He has a learning education. You do not. And plus, he's my friend. So, trust someone you know better than anyone else. The council pertains to you're good. Not you, though. You're not a good one. Though we can replace someone else. You're not a powerful vassal, so we could switch it out, right? Make it better. Wazir. Same skilled, but power vassal on your side. Oh, wait a minute. Is there anything else you're good at? How about I make you the Mufti? Resign you there. One second. Switch over. Does not have a clerical appointment. Well, I done made you mad. Plus, that's in Matera. That is a temple holding, I believe. Yes, mosque. So that makes very little difference to me. It's kind of too bad that we don't have that we don't have an accolade available. Current cults fascinations ledger. Additional building slots. Oh, that's good. So, again, it's going to take months for them to get here, so just relax a bit and make some money. I hope no one comes to attack you. Ah, good. Another fighter. But I would recruit you, but you only cost 10. Okay, come on in. Again, I need every good, able-bodied man to be fighting for us. Because every little difference could possibly turn the tide. Where are you going? It says travel to an activity. Grand tournament, perhaps? Well, by the way, I speak Damazeg and Arabic. I can learn 2 languages. Naturally, Greek and Latin. I would like to learn your language. Scheme odds are poor, but it's 50-50. It's a start. Everybody's going to this activity. Haston? The Haston? Yeah, that guy. Although I don't think that's where they're all going. They're going to... like he's a seneschal. Like, is he holding a feast or something? Or a tournament? He's hosting a wedding. Oh, he's hosting a grand wedding. That's what's going on. Spent his money early on in this. series on a grand wedding over there. That's why there's a progress towards colonization. They're all going that way. I'm not invited. Nobody asked me. Fine by me. By the way, check that guy again. The one who's currently holding a grand wedding. And he's meager reveler. So she hails from Upper Burgundy. It's taken a while to get there. He's Chandelier. He's Chancellor. Yeah. Very well then. Is that so? I'm the head of the culture. You know, Siculo-Arabic culture only consists of over there and... Oh! That's why. Probably got a little event where the spread of Sicilian or Siculo-Arabic culture has come to there. Oh, that's good. Now I'm at the culture head. Now I exposed towards public works. Keep it with Ledger though. Additional building slots would be a boon for us. Especially when it spreads more towards us here. Another Longobard. Obese, but he's athletic. Yo, dude. Come on in. Don't forget to recruit one more man that I know of. Remember, raise army in July. Amir or peasant, high or low, it does not matter. In the end, we're all mortal. I was reminded of this while coughing in the early morning hours, a dull ache pounding through my head and throat. My body's racked by shivers and weakness, my head leaking from every orifice. I heard that wheezing from across the court, my lord, Aaron. My physician pokes his head in my chair. Should you require it, I know a fair number of suitable remedies. I do no more than is necessary. You know better than that wise man that I wasted my money on. I spent many evenings with Aaron, seated by my side, reciting passages from the Quran, even though you're Jewish, but you're doing it for my sake. The words of Allah turned out to be just what I needed for now. The worst of my sins are alleviated and the world seemed a little brighter. Excellent work, Aaron. That's why he's my friend. That's what friends are for. This so-called competent fighter. Now review. 26, 16, 16, 16, 12. 12. I guess we can recruit you in. But here's the thing though. If you get killed in action, he'll take your place. But at least I don't want to get my marshal fighting in the field yet. Although he is a cautious leader and we may need him as our commander instead of, me. I mean, I would lead my troops I mean, in actual history, Sawdan did lead troops in the past based on historical documents such as against the forces of Benevento. But I'm in no condition to be leading at this point. Don't want to get killed out here. So, raise the armies now. As I said, you're the man to lead. I mean, I'm capable of leading myself, but Marshal is our commander now. And he is cautious, and that's what we need, because we're against a pretty big force here. And I wish we can have alliances of other entities, such as Malfi. But instead, neighbors. But unless you want to look to, Northern Africa, like say Egypt. How about it? No? Well, once we're no longer at war, they'll be more accepting. Now in Sicily proper. Now remember, I have no children, which is a game rule that I did set. Any of the historical characters that do have a documented family, but those who are not historical characters will not starve a family, potentially leading an early game over if you're not careful. So I think you're going to be hard pressed to find any, daughters of others. Yeah, what happened to you? Probably during travel. Grand wedding still ongoing up there. It seems that Capua has been vassalized. This is a man we ought to watch out for in future. He's got gallant, organized military engineer. Our opportunities to have potential alliances likely been squandered. No sons, no daughters. While meanwhile, Byzantium is at war against the conquest of Sicily. Basically, they want the parts. That's not yet fully under their control. I would love to help you out on that, if we were allies. Anyways, let's continue on. As we're raising troops for this. And want you to head to Gravina. To get a bit of advantage at the locations where they may be besieging at. Then, whoa. Made contact with them. Led by Imperator Augustus Louis, and the other man, some man named Allen, his antiquarian. So now we know where they are. Thank goodness I don't have to lead troops myself, and we found a man, a Longobard, to be fighting for us. Though they are a bit more numerous, but we know our land. they may have the hills. Actually, let them move. They say we may win decisively. Should we engage him anyhow? 8 days, 9 days. But they have more soldiers. Or just let them go. Let them move. We're just abiding our time. Okay, you're slightly better than one of my lowly Farazan, but we'll recruit you in some time, alright? I don't know where they headed off to, but... Aha, Bari. Home ground. Head to that. Or towards the plains, towards neutral ground. Can't catch them. Okay. We know this thing. Obviously, no fancy dreams. I will spare my gold. I can't spend money on that. Thank you for the information. This is just a reminder of that you have low funds. Save up some money for other things you may need. Alright. I'm all better now. I would lead troops if I want to, but no. Leave it to someone who's more qualified for it. Huh. Increased garrison here in Gravina. Let him head to Bari. As I take a stroll in the castle, I pass by the library, where my tax collector, Berin, seems to be quite in despondency. Oh God, he mumbles himself, I cannot do this. These tax law treatises are too old, too vague, too disorganized. How am I ever to meant to find anything in here? I want to check them out in detail before heading out the provinces again. Calm down, we can have a look at it together. I know a thing or two about this. 56% chance that I grow to reassure him, thus giving him higher opinion towards me, increase his learning and his stewardship and lose a bit of stress. Or 43% chance he continues to spare, thus cutting corners. He began to grow careless. He grew careless. Go, go, go. Move up. We gotta get them. I don't know why they've been avoiding battle for so long. So we're going against Imperator Augustus directly. If we capture him in this single battle and win the war, well, consider us lucky. You're in our turf, and we have a better army commander than yours. We have more soldiers and all that. Not to mention he's cautious, so Wunichis is careful not to take any unnecessary risk in battles, but does so at the cost of potential gain. Imperator Augustus Louis, however, the younger, they call him, Louis the Younger, he's of stewardship education. He's not a military man by any stretch of the imagination. Enemy reinforcements will arrive in 8 days. Also, a grand tournament in Kozai. Where's that at? That's in Bulgaria. In Vidin. Okay. Well, if it goes well, I mean, I don't personally need to get involved in this war, but I could go do other things. You have to leave in 26 days. That place. I don't have a caravan master. And you know, some of them are already at war. You're terrible at your craft, but you can at least help me with your craven, so at least you know safety. Get Mountaineer. And think it's pretty good. Coastal Sea may be an issue. Because I don't want to spend too much money when we travel over there. Anything else we could do? No. Or we could spend it all just to make travel by sea, you know, safer. By the way, after we go to this here tournament... Oh, by the way, I didn't read the part. What are we doing? Archery. Okay. Archery. Mountaineer. And then... yeah. Make it safer. And then, while we're at it... like after this tournament, we go visit this place. Filigreana was found as a model city by the great Caesars and protected through the years by colossal walls. There weren't enough to withstand the centuries' invasions. However, not all remains of its past glories are the hollow skeletons of the watchtowers and the humbling amount of vegetation that has engulfed them. Pay a little visit, gain a bit of stewardship, lifestyle experience. Good. We'll be there at the beginning of March. As long as the impassable terrain doesn't screw us over. Actually, there is one more thing. I'm sorry, some of you people are like, oh, what now? This option that I often miss out on. Where is it? Train for a tournament. Train your prowess for an upcoming grand tournament. The uniforms will sharpen your skills. If successful, this will raise your prowess for the martial events for the upcoming tournament. Start training. Then he turned to the right, Marcus yells, while dealing with a powerful blow with my sword that makes me take a couple steps back. They won't go Jotto on you in the tourney, my lord, says, drawing a sword on his sword. If you want to win, you can't afford to lose. Not even to me. Not even once. Ah. This is a mixed result here. 34% chance that my training is impressive, increase my prowess. 43% I become well trained. 10 years. 20% chance I hurt myself. And every single fire, 25% chance that the successful has increased prowess or unsuccessful. Haha! Training is impressive. I increased it. Although it'll register with time. Just checking. Like, do I need a bodyguard to come with me in my travels? Like those who aren't fighters. Great. Guess we can go without one. And you probably need a court tutor. Because, you know, language learning. Because I'm going to need that to learn, you know, Greek. And then eventually learn how to speak Italian afterwards. But anyways, let's go to this tournament. Belong to, again, that's in Kozai, which is within Vidin. Vidin proper is over there. These are Rumin. Ah, right, they live in this area. Bulgarians are this way. Unfortunately, those people that live there, they're xenophilic, so they'll like us regardless. Even though the acceptance isn't with them, but over time, we may learn a thing or two from them. And keep in mind, It's winter over there. Don't you see the snow? Part of the little mod I use. Which means, as we set off, as battle just started in Bari, it's like, yes, a climatic battle is occurring here while Sawdan takes his leave. My regent will be my wife, so she'll be my spouse regent. There's a nod. So in this case, swell the armies while I'm away. So now let's finally go. Stop wasting time. So we're taking experienced captains. They will send word for experienced captain to join my entourage, significantly reducing the danger of traveling across the sea and ocean. It's only the Adriatic. 2 zones of the Adriatic. And then send word for experts in mountainous terrain to join my entourage, significantly reducing the danger of traveling across high peaks. Now we're bringing in a terrible caravan master, but he does have a benefit, despite his lack of stewardship, is his safety. Him being craven, and me being quite diplomatic myself, we should have safer travels. Away from that little wetland area. So keep in mind, we'd be traveling in amounts throughout January and February, until we arrive there at March. And then after that, take a bit of a stroll to VIET in proper before we return home, just to gain some prestige and some stewardship lifestyle experience on the way. And then be back home in well, it's probably going to be more than 6 months time, but you get the idea. I'll be gone most of the time, and it's up to my fighting men to take care of this matter. So we shall go. I've been training for this. Evangelos will be the man who's going to be the captain. And actually, and Amazeg, appropriately, is the mountain man. Because, you know, it's his culture that knows mountain herding. So, yeah. The next area is here. So we know that this area here is where Siculo-Arabic culture just spawned here, so it's only a matter of time we start seeing an appearance of more Siculo-Arabic and Sicilian cultures. So meanwhile, as I travel across the Adriatic, Battle of Bari begins. And this man, Herzog Urok of Friuli, is having a grand wedding, which I believe all of his guests are invited there. Lulu's grand wedding. That's what's happening over there, so no one knows what would be happening over there. Lord knows, Allah knows. So they'll be bringing in additional levies and some not so good down Horizon on the way too. And they do have some armored footmen, good against our spearmen. We do not have spearmen. We have Catarafrax, light footmen, bowmen, Horizon, Sicilian archers, light horsemen, Abadra, and camel riders. Definitely countering their light horsemen, although fighting in the plains. So off I pop then. We do have the advantage early on. My fellow attendee, Inaz Iramaya, is hosting a grand tournament competition in the vicinity of Timocani, and his time has come for us to depart. We shall represent the House of Mari and make the Siculo-Arabic culture people proud. Hopefully the rest of Timocani won't be as run as Iramaya, but we should still be worried of what goes down in the lion's den. I suppose we must. As I'm attending a grand tournament, every available on-landed knight will accompany you to compete, even though they're also fighting a battle here. Slow down. We take a boat here. Yep. Cautious leader, good roll. He got a bad one. So We're inflicting casualties. Enemy reinforcements arrive in 3 days. They're about to be beaten by tomorrow. Just in time that they arrive, but it makes a little difference because we're mauling them. Named Conrad of Upper Burgundy. Thanks to Munich's superior martial and leadership skills, my army has defeated Imperator Augustus Louis of Universum Regnum Army decisively at Bari. Munichus deserves a reward for his victory. I'm sorry, I don't have the money. And awarding you the land of Taranto would be a boon for you, but... I don't know about you. You're a bit shady to me. Though you are a brave man who has defeated a great enemy. But if I tell him he deserves nothing, he'd be quite disappointed in me. But I believe over time he'll slowly get over it if I were to sway him. But an unhappy counselor can lead to issues. Be careful. So I think eventually he'll come around. Because giving away land, whereas I have plenty of land for me to hold. Let's see, give him a little +3. So I'll say he deserves nothing, but do not worry. I'll make up something. I'll make it up to you, as you are a lifelong acquaintance of mine. Maybe perhaps we should hold a feast in your name whenever I return from this here tournament. One battle done. Did we even capture anybody else? Captured all of them. Including the man who was due to be, who had a grand wedding. It's over for you. Okay, I got an idea. We need to, ransom you and ransom you. You stay in prison because that means war's over. So, first things first. Pay up 100. Well, I should have rewarded them gold had I known about it. Maybe I'll send him a gift to make him up for it. 100 gold, so that's 200. Although, I would be getting a lot more, but honestly, that's what war reparations are for. He's the one that started it. So now, I'm off to Viden. To the tournament. Here we go, 200. Nice. So, there you go. Now, 377 gold in reparations. And this would give me a lot of legitimacy. Now I will increase my legitimacy level to rightful. There's another thing I want from you. Princess Ermengarde. The other one's 15. Demand a hostage. I mean, I don't have anything to offer because I don't have someone of my children to be offered. Because you see, I have this idea, which is to be used for future reference. Such as during the wars against the Sicilian Roman where if we ever engage in hostilities where I want to take a piece of their land and I fear their retaliation sometimes, that we should exchange hostages to ensure like a peace deal. You don't attack me and I don't attack you. But this is a case of I want you to bring it to me because it gives him prestige and such. So enforce it. Alright. Peace be with you. I know when I'm defeated, I have no choice but to comply with your demands. A new legend seed, a valiant defense. Could start a legend because of what happened here. Against all odds, Emir Sawdan has repelled the hordes of Imperator Augustus Louis of Immersion Regnum. Look at us. We're rich. And I know exactly what I'm going to do with that money, and it's going to take a while. But first things first. build something that would be of benefit to the economy locally. And over in Toronto's trade port here. And stop right there. The rest of the money should be saved to whatever's going to happen during our travel to there and back. Because I do have another travel activity in mind once this is all over. It's a new year and we're entering a new era. White squall, turn to port. The coxswain's horrifying yell does not suit the calm weather, but my ears are filled with the increasing louder roar of the wind. Unless our heartbeat, the moist white mist that engulfs the whole ship, louder than the wind. The mainmast cracks and falls overboard. And soon as the keen squall moves on, our boat lazily rocks on the calm sea, dragging the torn sails and broken oars along. Fear not, we have more sails. Due to my entourage's maritime expertise, we were prepared for this. New rigging is swiftly erected from the stored sails and wooden beams. This is why we brought a captain with us. So we press on. Now into the lands of modern-day Montenegro, Sinagora. After we have traveled together for a while, I've noticed there's something about Aaron, my friend. He seems to know the weirdest things, often ending up in curious conversations with those around him. He comes very close to heresy with some of his thoughts, often questioning what the rest of us take for granted. And yet I cannot help but feel he is right with a lot of his opinions. Well, my friend, you are quite a traveler yourself. But you're my physician, that's why I brought you with you. In addition to being a stewardship, as you know, things that you do. I'd like to hear more about what you know. 56% chance that I adopt his ways and be a wise man, or 43% chance that I just can't do it. I adopt his ways. I'm a wise man now. Sicily is a land of strange and obscure customs to me. The practices of the Slovenskan faith are strange and unimaginably different from Asharism, Sunniism, if you will. And nowhere is that more apparent than their attitude towards the practice of magic. Right in the middle of town, there is a woman chanting incantations and offering blessings as if she were an imam. It is strange to me, but the people appear positively jubilant in her presence. Sebian. But in our religion, we view witchcraft as criminal. So, but however, I'm a fair man. I'm a just man. We don't kill people around here. So, this is a learning challenge against her. Minus 15 versus hers is 10. Though she's a scholar and a witch. And very fertile at 57. Well, she's gregarious like me. I'll just say they must be made to understand that witchcraft is a sin. 7% chance that Gordana joins my court and converts to Asharism and loses the witch trait and join the entourage. 48% chance that I gain 50, 43% chance that I spend 20. Lost the debate here. We were walking among the hills late in the day. The darkness comes suddenly brought by dark clouds above us. There was a distant loud rumble of thunder. Soon there was another come over a dazzling flash of lightning. Another strike and brightly illuminating the area. The after image burned in my eyes. I blinked to see where the lightning struck now. There was quickly expanding brush fire and it's spreading towards us. Son of a bitch, Wax. I'll say put the fire out before it spreads too far. Martial challenge. 18% chance to successfully qualify. 49% chance. The fire stops a bit of cost. Evangelos, the captain, is going to be the one wounded. Or 31% chance that the fire engulfs my entourage. I become wounded. Evangelos get wounded, and we get a delay, which we can't afford delays. Nope, we got burned here. Thank you, Aaron. He's healed both of us. The procession is ground to a halt a stone's throw away from Osno. I look to see my Corte Ekli, who is the mountaineer. Yeah. Dismounted, intently staring at something on the ground. The other entourage members gathering around him. He looks up and approaches. My lord, there's an ant path here. Maybe a tad superstitious, but you should never cross an ant path. My great-grandfather did, and he never returned home. What are you talking about? It's full of snow on the ground. I was like, this is nonsense. I'll take over his guide. This is combined stewardship and prowess challenge against him. Oh, got some prowess, but poor stewardship. 54% chance I'm a competent guide, or 45% chance that we get lost for 5 days. I'm a competent guide. Told you. It's been snowing for the past few days, and the cold is unbearable. I look around to see that my entourage is struggling with it as well. So I decided to travel on foot alongside him. After we walked through the snowstorm for another hour, Ilov pulls me aside, shaking while he yelps. It's my caravan master. Please, my liege, I cannot feel my toe anymore. I ordered him to take off his boot and look at his toe. It's all dark blue already at this point. It might be too late to save it. 14 days. Damn it! You're stoic, like us, because Siculo-Arabic culture has that ethos as well. I forgot to look at the cultural traditions of the Siculo-Arabic. We should discuss that in a moment or so. I said, no, we gotta move on. We got to get to the tournament. Now he's got severe frostbite. See? Walk it off. Even though he's only going to have it for 10 years. You know, he starts holding a grudge against me. As I said, walk it off. Oh, I forgot to disband my army. Just noticed that already. So we could start making some real fortune. And recover. Alda has vowed to never cut his hair until he has become the ruler of Norway. With such an outrageously ambitious vow, he has a steep challenge ahead of him. This is part of the Historic Invasions mod. Although, you can play as him if you like, but obviously the series is all about here, so his hair is bound to reach the ground. Saying that jokingly. Almost there. No more delays, please. Winter's gone. I arrived at the site of the tournament here in Timotani, but not all the revelers have yet arrived. Throngs of people wander through the colorful surroundings, all looking forward to forthcoming displays of skill and prowess. There's no time to lose. I must begin preparing. I must be a victor at any cost. Can't wait for it to start. Though I have terrible bow skill. I must be in a wrong tournament, but I'm close to qualifying. Go, songbird, go faster! Hear a man's voice echo across the grounds. I look up to see a small thing hurrying through the sky like a black bolt of lightning. Soon enough, it swoops down towards the finishing line. I must have cheated. Your bird cannot fly that fast. Just look at her. She's heavy like a stone. Then Lulu shouts, with the winner looking smug. Huh, I could win the bet right off the bat. But you already have enough. Must take a lot of preparation to do this. Now I'm currently guaranteed to qualify. Good to know. Although I'm terrible with a bow. At least it's what it says. The varied crowd contested its mill about the butts, comparing bows and trading tales of the finest shots. The creak of bows and twangs and strings carry far, punctuating the hollow. The smell of racing wavy through the still air. My ears prick up as my name is mentioned. Drift across a gentle breeze. That be a good sign or a bad one? By the way, betting on certain contests, and if you're of the Muslim faith, if I recall correctly, that's, you know, haram. Certain. But archery is one of them that's not it. So it's fine. So, I'll place a bet. Again, I am terrible at it. But there's no hurt trying. I vowed myself to win a contest in this tournament, and I can't help myself to consider a less fair approach to securing the prize of the archery competition. I'm sure my opponents would do the same if only they had the idea. Who knows, maybe they already have. Better than me, better than me, better than me. I don't want to sabotage her because I'm just. This is no way to win. Peering at the bookie by the tavern's dim light, I pondered the stream of odd shots over the heads of other monks. Ackley is the archery favorite. 4-1 for Ackley. Really? My mountaineer? Well, he's very good at it. So I'll say that he's a safe bet. Betting on myself by some miracle would be great. But he's better than everyone else here. So I think he'll be a safe bet. Betting on myself would take a miracle. Just do it. The panthers flutter and roll around as I step and take my shot. Battered by the wind, the dust swirl past me. I knock an arrow to the bow. Sound words making my eyes water. I wait for it to subside. I continue waiting. I don't think it's gonna stop. Oh! Oh my goodness! 0% chance that you hit the target with that wind. Score increase moderately, but the trading speeds 0% chance of that happening. 100% chance the wind through 2 fierce. You know what? Screw it. Just this once, alright? Just saying, poor unfortunate. Actually, forward is the next one. It just worked. 100% chance that the educators acquiesce. Score increases slightly. While Zupan and Exi, here, the Bulgarian, score decreases moderately. Yeah, the wind goes against me, but just shoot at someone else and blame the wind for it. Actually, it wasn't my turn yet, was it? Just this once, alright? There's little hope to winning that. And I hope that the Mountaineer here will be the one to win it. Thus begins to draw instead. Slow but steadily as the competition continues. The snapping at twangs and stack out a rhythm. I lean on my bow, considering the path of this contest taken so far. Such as when the wind began to blow strongly, forcing me to improvise. The competition begins to draw to a close as the arrows continue to fly into past the butts. Before I make any impact on the proceeds from here, I must act now. With this wind, this trajectory should suffice. Where the hell did I have that? Anyways, 40% chance to score increase moderate, 20% chance nothing, 35% chance decrease. My shot flies true, but agonizingly not quite as true as I want to. It darts it to the target, but only around the edge. It's not going to do me harm, but probably won't do much credit either. I'm winning. Victory's so close, only a few more arrows. And it reads competitive, the end is at hand. Score increased greatly. If you say so. I am informed my hostage on my guard is the last of ride from Universal Regnum. Imperator Augustus Louis' daughter and heir would no doubt be anxious about her new life, and I'm sure that my people will make her feel right at home. Heir to the title. Oh, great. The pact is in place then. I'll check you back in a moment. Well, I'll be damned. Trumpets sound and the crowd clamors. The competitors begin to assemble. The contest is over. At someone's moment of sense being ready, the herald steps forward, voice booming across the. After many trials and tribulations, and above all else, some truly spirited competition, we have our final three. The third place, the gutsy Zupan Vyacheslav. Coming in close seconds, Zupan Labislav. And of course, the leaders are our victim, Amir Sawdan. I knew I could win. I've proven my worthiness beyond doubt, even though I kind of did the unjust thing earlier. Ah, damn it, I should have bet on myself. It was a miracle after all. Although there was a bit of cheating. Gained Mary Ann. So this character's honorary aim told him when the archery contest are determined. Injury price lowered for the next 5 years. I receive a prize when it concludes, being 25 gold, 75 prestige. I can't believe I actually won the damn thing. Go to the tent, Ken. I'd be surprised if Ladislav doesn't sweep the floor with the other contestants. I hear as I walk around the camp. A group of visitors are eating around a pot. I spot the very Zupan Ladislav sitting with them. Oh, he's Bosnian. Thought he was serving with that kind of name. You exaggerate, my friend says. Smells coolly. Eyes locker. Give him a subtle nod. If you excuse me, is there something the Lord wants to discuss? Well, we're already past that tournament, so I'll just say I want a fair fight. Just additional prestige gain. 1 second. I will educate as my own. But out of curiosity, do not convert the culture or faith. Because if in an unlikely event that he dies and she becomes a new ruler and is a Muslim ruling Italy, you're starting a crusade prematurely. So just take her in as if it were my own, and she's brave and strong. So I guess you didn't have much issues during your travel to here. So I'll just raise you right, unlike your father, the beaten man. But anyways. The sun comes down on the final day, determined, and mass crowds begin to disperse. I find myself ruminating over the results. I had the finest name of any in the archery. I fulfilled my goal of winning the contest. I look forward to the next one. What a great occasion. Apparently I do have skill with the bow after all. I should go hunting often, when the opportunity presents itself. Now I become the owner of the prized bow. A very fine maple self bow, strung with linen, useful in both hunting and war. Awarded to Amir Sawdan by Naz Imraya for winning the archery contest. So, +2 prowess, +3% enemy fatal casualties, and raid speed increases even though we don't do raiding. But still, what a great occasion. My first weapon, a bow. You conducted a frontier raid against Napoli. Right, we pay a little visit to VIET. Yeah. Again, something that was dated back from Roman times. Old Roman times. I noticed that he avoids more than usual. He always sits at the opposite end of the table when invited to a feast. He consistently refuses my company while camping. We may have not had the best relationships, but that attitude is starting to tire me. Especially when I overhear him defaming me. Sawdan as a foul ogre. I'd be a way better Emir than him. Hey, watch your mouth. Although you were damn good with your bow, but not good enough. I could beat him if I want to, especially now that I have the prowess skill with the bow. But, you know, he's the mountaineer, and we're on our way back to the mountains. Without him, travel will be dangerous. So I'll just say, Caravan Master, I love, take care of it. Yeah, we're sending a man who's rather craven to likely scold him. Our road takes us to the treacherous parts of Siglitsa. While I scan for any dangers ahead, a rustly bush grabs my attention. It could be a wild animal. I brace myself for impact. A wildlife jumps out of the bush instead, holding a plant. You scared me, Outlaw. Anyway, see what you have here. Some kind of fruit mixing. Yes, it looks and smells so delicious. Wonder what it tastes like. Maybe I'll just take a bite, he says. Yeah, you eat it. Invigorates body or mind. Well, son of a beeswax. The road's gone incredibly hilly the past few hours, and everyone's beginning to weary. After a while longer, with no end to the hills in sight, one of my travel companions, I left again. What this means is, Lord, our mounts cannot carry on like this much longer. The poor animals need a break, or fear to collapse. We must stop to rest. I know it's full well to delay the journey back to Bari. Yeah, you're right. It would be wise to rest here for a while. We'll be traveling back to summer. We're not going to be traveling through the winter snows in the mountains. And I impregnated her, my lover, and I know she cannot betray me, because she won't love any other man than me. Press on, my spouse regent. Oh no, not another fire. Put it out again. We successfully called a fire this time. Longobards moved from Gravina to Kamada. Long after night has settled, I find myself laughing, telling stories and drinking with Aaron. I didn't know he had it in him, but Aaron's a particularly revealed story about 4 peasants he had seen in Bari. I had to dry my eyes from the laughter and drinking a bit to clear my throat. I will, by the way, this is part of the Wandering Nobles DLC, this event. Doesn't matter which one you pick, he's my friend no matter what. So I'll just say, ask him to tell me another story, because I'm sure he's seen more things in life than I did. Travel through the Adriatic now. Right before we left into the Adriatic, the inn we stayed at Kainon last night was horrible, to say the least. Something about the quality of its bedding and atmosphere did not sit well with many of us, myself included. When we tried to sleep last night, as we arrived onwards today, everyone in my entourage is visibly tired and exhausted. We have to bear with it. Everything's going to be alright. We're almost home. Oh, and look. The Battle of Bari is now a point of interest. Emir Sawdan led his troops, no he didn't, bravely in the defense against the Francois army of Imperator Augustus Louis. They tired each other out. It was one-sided, and in the end the Siculo-Arabic enveloped the enemy, shattered the morale of their opponents, and captured Imperator Augustus Louis. When we get back home, I will gain additional martial lifestyle. 80% chance of additional martial arts talent, 20% chance I may pick up open terrain expert. So now this has become a point of interest where this great battle took place. This is the Battle of Bari. At long last, I'm finally home. There's nothing better than arriving back at Bari after a long journey. I look forward to rest for a long time, but the cold road beckons ever onward. 243 days, 41 baronies. Thank God. I'm inside. Thank you for your service, you two. Even though he kind of held a grudge against me. No. I forget. It was you who has the grudge, right? Against me. Yeah, you do. Because of the frostbite. But as I said, walk it off. You'll be fine. I'm going to need you again soon. Right, now that we have all this money, I did pick up open terrain expert. Instead, got a bit of that. As much as I would love to spend time with you, but money's about to be spent elsewhere, and this will be the last big act, last activity for the first episode to cap off with. We're going to go on a university visit. Well, actually, one little thing. Because I noticed that someone did that. Support the medical school in Salerno. I'll do that too. Provide financial and political aid to the medical school in Salerno. It's cheap. Ever since its founding, the medical school of Salerno has served as the center of medical study in Europe. As the Emir ruling over Salerno, I don't, but I'm close to it. I should support this school financially and politically. This is a free for trade experience for all the worlds. And supported it, give me +1 learning, disease resistance, small health boost, bit of piety and prestige. Depending on your trade skills, there's a 20% chance you may receive further positive modifiers, artifacts, improved skills for your physician, or a new one if you don't have a physician yet. If you own Salerno itself, chances of further bonuses are increased. For context, in medieval times, Salerno was home to a renowned medical school. According to legend, it was founded in the 9th century when 4 doctors, Pontus, a Greek, Salerno, an Italian, Abde, an Arab, and Hellenus, a Jew, happened to meet each other as they sought shelter for the night while traveling in Salerno. They decided to work together to establish a school. Although this is likely a legend, it does reflect the school's diverse milieu. It hosted teachers and students from all over Europe and the Mediterranean, including a number of women, and taught medicine from the Greek, Latin, and Arab and Jewish traditions. May they continue to do good work. The medical school in Salerno is one of the most famed institutions for the teaching and learning of medicine in the region. By supporting the school, I am not only furthering its mission to disseminate medical knowledge and train skilled physicians, but also improve my own reputation as a patron of education and the medical profession. Medicine is a vital discipline in our society after all. It's colonization +3. You know, Periphery is in the lead early on. Now I'm going to go to university, spend a semester at a renowned center of studies, learning from the wisest minds of the land. It is a case to fill the gaps in your youthful education, but also improve yourself all around, develop your skills, learn new abilities, and make important connections. I may upgrade education trait, skill points, lifestyle experience, lifestyle traits, book, a highly skilled character, maybe. But here's the problem. For, of the Islamic faiths, I would love to go to Baghdad, the House of Wisdom there, but it's ravaged with disease, so can't go over there. Cordoba is a safer option. But if you want to have a less hassle of travel, I'm actually going to go bypass Salerno and go to Pietramonte. Yes, to Rome, in the Vatican, despite the fact that the local faith is hostile to me. And there's a reason for that, and it's a very good reason. Visit Rome, you get a sightseeing event, and you pick up the traveler trait, which gives you the monthly wandering lifestyle experience if you ever go into that. And more stewardship lifestyle experience. And learning over there. Let me see. I recall someone else forced. Not much difference. Well, get mercenary guards then. There'll be some danger. Not a lot. But keep them out near because Italia is a hilly, mountainous country. Sometimes. Depending on where you travel. Library of Knowledge. Center of Studies have an active market of knowledge. You can't miss a chance to exchange your books and buy many new ones. We need that success progress. A random skill point. Wish to study hard. We'll be visiting the Arch of Trajan. The Antero Sibyl. Rome. Charlemagne. Grand Cathedral. And on our way back from it, go visit Monte Cassino. And then you'll be back here. Got it? Let's do it. He's our mountaineer for today. And a mercenary captain, Serbsky band of Pomorie, Captain Stefan. Colonization phase slight increase as I will be heading to Rome. We'll take our sweet time. No rush. Just as we're about to set out, it starts pouring down rain. Rain? As far as the eye can see, I can't help but curse my poor luck. I had seen dark clouds coming for a while. If we want to make our journey on time, we have to set out. But it's a risky journey with the weather being what it is. I wouldn't worry about it. So. A little bit of rain won't hurt anyone. Gained 5 days progress. Up, just got ill. I'll manage. Supported the medical school recently. So I should be fine. We come across the remnants of a trading caravan in Sessa. The arrow-ridden corpses of merchants, guards, and horses, overturned carriages, and ruined merchandise all point to this some kind of being attacked by bandits. Anyway, such dangers on the road are unheard of. After we bury the dead, my drowned companions and I debate what should be done with the merchandise, which the bandits did not carry off with them. Salvage designs could be quite lucrative, though it would take some time. We don't have much in the way of relations with them. And plus, check your entourage. Who's with me on this? No. Do more than is necessary. Oh, and you're sick too. Yeah, the rain got us all sick. He brought a croaking bucket in my chambers to expose my upper body. He grabbed the toad, got it with deft hands, and proceeded to place the still twitching carcass on my chest. He continued until the bucket was empty and the torso was covered. And the toad treatment just turned out to be just what I needed. Thank you. Now treat yourself. You know, you won't matter much. You two won't matter much if I were to pay you. He's fine with it. He holds a grudge. So I'll say I'll take the lion's share as it is my right. Although I would be slightly less pious for this. But do not worry. In what I plan on doing the next episode, go on a Hajj. That'll get your piety up. So I need the money. That money will be used for future travels. child was not meant to be. My wife was an obstetrician's way of life, but her handling was on her belly. She's no longer pregnant. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry. As you prepare to solve in the morning, I see Aaron stand outside the camp all alone. As I walk over to talk to him, I notice a change in wind. A refreshing autumn wind ripples through this camp, grabbing the leaves and dust on the ground. Summer is behind us. It is time to prepare for the cold of autumn and winter. Hey, get back on your horse. He won the raid, and a Sicilian stronghold has appeared. They established a Latin stronghold somewhere in Napoli. At the distance of the city of Roma is a forest of towers and amazing stone buildings. As we approach the scenery, shifts, ruins and monuments, walls and ancient churches coexist with farms and grazing animals. As we stop before a great obelisk, a local recounts that at the top of Julius Caesar's ashes rest in a small round box. In death as in life, Caesar is elevated above all Romans. My friend Aaron adds that we should use this opportunity to learn about the city. You know, it is worth thinking about how fragile life is, like how we're all sick right now. So if we can wait a week, spend time contemplating on the fragile nature of life, 50% chance I gain writing history perk, diplomacy increased by 1, Aaron will become my best friend. Or contemplation, where I spent time contemplating on the fragility of life, I've found new focus on making their days count. +1 learning, multiplier up. And he'll be my best friend regardless. Or existential dread. As his character spent time contemplation, the dread of an unexpected death spurred him to focus on the task while there is time. +1 stewardship, gaining a bit more stress. So he's my best friend. Not just my friend. I discuss life and death. Existential dread. +1 stewardship. Thanks to his diligent efforts, my caravan master found a safe shortcut in Roma. We could use it to reduce the time of our journey quite a bit. How fortunate. So we contemplated life and death together during a formative journey. Well, the rain got us sick, and it made us think that. Alright, good work. Guess you're not all that useless after all. We're here in the cathedral. I'm finally here. Walking the halls of the Vatican. Revered seat of all the knowledge of the Catholicus world. I have so much to learn from the holy men and women who gather between these venerable walls, and what ancient scrolls and books. Of course, major centers of culture are also active markets and offer all the distractions that a student could ever desire. Well, time to get started. I'm suddenly distracted by midnight studies by a loud crash and your deafening slam, and I expect a sounding shatter. What in the world is going on? The source of disturbance appears to be 2 peasants. Allah knows how they got in here, ravenously gulping down a barrel of the university's invigorating herbal infusions. This hill, one of them shouts. Yeah, they think they're better us just because they could read. The other follows. Italians. Italiani. You know, all that loot that we got from that abandoned caravan? Those poor unfortunate souls. I will see that you will learn how to read. So I'll spend the money and the prestige so as my studies become more successful. And these two will join my court, increasing their learning skills, because they both lack of it. Learn something, you fools. You might become useful one day. Aced an assignment. My knowledge is impressive, so slightly more successful. At least we don't have to deal with the winter snows during travel, as I'll be studying here. Vatican is often home of fervent debates amongst teachers and students alike. After a particularly enlightening lecture from our teacher, Pancrazio, I find myself dragged in one such debate with another student, Madrona. No, you're making no sense. You are completely misrepresenting the philosopher's point, I scream. You are completely delusional, she fires back. From the corner of my eye, I see Pancrazio stare at us with a pensive look on his face. But, as the master said, Escanaz, theologian. Ah, you're debating with a theologian here. So, 57% chance that she's convinced, and my studies become much more successful, as I'm a gregarious person. 43% chance that I'll admit that she is right. I convinced her. Excellent. So, lifestyle experience, low chance to upgrade your education trait. Hold on, what? Oh, good. Dago is now firmly established in Sicily, and Malta as well. Good. My Muslim brethren in Sicily now has a permanent foothold there. Meanwhile, back in Rome, the vicinity of Rome, in the Vatican. Has brought my hostage on guard to a market today. My guards will hand out alms to the poor and the needy. Learn about the charity and rulers' plight to the less fortunate. The scattered-brained child couldn't decide to give the gold to, Alamas says, visibly annoyed. At the end, she had given one coin to the one-legged stable boy, one to a blind urchin, used another coin to buy an apple tart. They gave one to me, of all people, and lost the last one in the ditch. Seems that Ermengarde is able to make up her mind. Why choose one path when you could choose all of them? I mean, who am I to judge of the mind of a child? My studies in Vatican proceed well, but I can't help but feeling isolated from the community that surrounds me. I'm a stranger in a stranger land. In the land of these lands, Vernaculo, is spoken by the locals in the taverns and the markets of the city, is exotic and mysterious to me. Even among my fellow students and teachers, many were born and raised here. Being able to share knowledge more directly would certainly improve the quality of my studies. I need to study hard to integrate. I'm learning Greek, but now I'm about to learn Vernaculo, which is the language of the Italians. Excellent. Siculo-Arabic. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the Hellenica language, Greek. And yes, it does add towards colonization. Endless hours practicing excitation, sleepless nights making inflection, countless lessons mastering intonation. It was worth all within the end. During my efforts, I looked to emulate Principus Marana Saxon. I'm sure he would be impressed by my results. Of course, he now respect me a great deal more. See if I can send a letter and impress him. And did. All better. Today, our teacher Pancrazio begins. We're going to examine the anatomy of a falcon. The examiner spreads throughout the lecture hall. So we'll appreciate the hooded bird standing proudly at the teacher's gloved arm. Much can be learned by studying the body of animals, as the ancients taught us. Does anyone want to help me with this dissection demonstration? I volunteer to help. 2. You will gain a perk point. Medium chance to upgrade your education trait. The library is empty except for me and Madrona. I've been reading the same page in the Trotula over and over, but it's of no use. I cannot concentrate. Now she keeps gently biting the tip of a quill, while softly running a finger across her apple blossom, and she keeps looking at me directly in the eyes while doing it. I think we deserve a break, my treasures. Softly. 44. No. Must focus on book. Plus, I have a wife that loves me. Spend time learning local custom ceremony. Good. More towards diplomacy. Stewardship gain. The halls of the University of Vatican often echoes the debates of students and teachers, some which escalates to notorious rivalries, like between Andone and Pancrazio. When I find a day, they are, as usual, screaming at each other, trying to prove whose field of study is better equipped to discuss what planet should be considered the most important. Something less usual, however, is that they suddenly notice me approaching me and ask me to take a position. Yeah, hell. Well, as a total foreigner, I'll say there are great merits in both disciplines. 43% chance they're convinced and pleased by my thesis. Massively more successful. 56% chance that they will not like me for that, which makes sense given that I'm a foreigner, not as learned as you two are. But I impressed my teachers! You'll gain 2 perk points. I'll get perfect studies. In which there is a very high chance that I will upgrade my education tree. The Jewish scholar, Aaron, who has lived in Bari for a while, best friend, announced that he will return to his homeland in Mesopotamia. After arguing with his father, the Nazi or high official of the Jews there, he left home and spent years sojourning and traveled to learn from the best scholars around the world. Now his old age began to catch up with him. He's starting to feel homesick. He wants to return before he's too old. Many in my realm, Jew and non-Jew alike, appreciate his wisdom and mystical knowledge and beg him to stay. Some even request that I forcibly detain him so our people could continue to benefit from his teachings. As his friend who patronized him often, that is sad to hear. Yet as a friend, I should be considered to his wishes. If I were to keep him here, he'd be melancholic. I would be feeling very bad if I really did. But I'm a just man. So I'll say it's cool not to let him return home. Farewell. He'll be headed to Caliph Mutaz's court in Baghdad. Beware of disease, but learn what you have learned from me, from your time as a physician. So, he's no longer the physician, as he is indeed traveling back to Baghdad. It's a long travel for him. So, I'll be sure to keep up with him of what he'll be doing with his travels. The tax collector. Spread of Sicilian culture. The eclectic mix of peoples in southern Italy, Sicily, has given rise to unique culture affected by the myriad influences. It is now clear that the people in the Emirate of Cassana is no longer see themselves as Longobardi, but as native Sicily. Interesting development. This has been such an amazing experience. When I left, I couldn't even imagine the number of wise men that study at Petra Montefeltro. The depth of their thinking, the breadth of their research, just being part of the same environment has made me such a better person. And with my newly gained knowledge, I can make my way home very satisfied. Knowledge is power. I'm a golden sovereign. Haha. Sawdan can take a failing enterprise to prosperity with a mere shred of attention. Riches springing from where once there was insolvency. Excellent guide to the esoteric. An elegant tome that shows a disciple understanding of mysticism as it touches upon subjects such as uses of incense and chants. The cover is what it's been painted to display a repeating image of symbols which no one but the creator knows the meaning of. Put it on. That's for the journal. The illustrious journal. 3 perks. Domain limit up. I'm the architect. And Golden obligations. So we can demand payment for hooks. Don't really want to go towards the administrator route. Unless it's absolutely necessary. But now let's end this episode by going home. Because we're going longer than usual for a first episode. While traversing the challenging path in Caprano, I hear laughter ahead. My caravan out of my fellow traveler Stefan are working together across a wide, grassland-fed river. Oh, if your idea to build a makeshift bridge was brilliant. Your quick thinking seems those long grass tighter altogether. Seems this obstacle has led to a new friendship. This will hasten our journey indeed. Visited Monte Cassino. When we set up camp for the night at town, it so happens a caravan of merchants was camping pretty close to us. And we're traveling the opposite direction. When we exchanged some information about the conditions on the road for our respective journeys. Anyhow, the merchants they told me they met a most odd fellow several days ago. Went by the nickname the Liar. Also told him somewhat nonsensical advice that somehow also made sense. They're not sure what to make of him. But the veteran merchant says that he is by far the oddest fellow they've ever met. He sounds like an odd fellow. Good. Safer travels. Traveling through the rugged path, like I said, the challenge arises at the hillside slope surface. Antonio. And, it's like we can argue about the best approach to traversing the treacherous trail. Antonino. This gesture is reckless, exclaims Jessica, visibly frustrated. And retorts, yours is cowardly. Sees my entourage at an impasse. Listen to me. You need to work together. Safer routes. Increase 10 days. I'm pregnant again for her. It is known that the people of Volterra, not Vulture, Volterra, I believe that's how it's pronounced in Italian, seems to profess a special devotion towards their knights and their legends. My lord, the knight says, bowing his head, it is most fortunate you and I came to meet at this crossroad. I'm in search of a marvelous fountain which water said to cure all illness. You who are helping my quest, I shall pay homage to you. Oh, Scribbner. Wait, my lord. I know this knight. He's my lord. I shall never leave an eye on then. Lead the way. The knight leads us to a small clearing where a natural fountain glimmers. Light reflects on the surface of a blissful shimmer and makes the water look so bright that it feels like a second sun. Careful! A beast! A guardian! The knight points to a stag, stabbed between us and the fountain. Take a drink while I think. Don't fear, I shall fight it. 54% chance I kill the beast and I gain knight errant training. And he'll be the owner of healing water. Or, beast wounds me. I get wounded, healing water is destroyed. But regardless, he'll join. Don't fear, I shall fight it. He wounds me and the healing water is destroyed. It's not that big of a deal, it's just reduced stress. Parts of the road of Venosa are covered with wooded planks, as common as some of the places to make the travel easier. However, it should be no surprise that the wood is oftentimes subject to theft, particularly in more rural areas. As so it happened, we encountered a party of ruffians trying to take these wooden planks, just trying to make off with the wood as soon as we approached. Yeah. Let's go after them. 15% chance you might become severely injured. Be careful, man. You're already wounded by that damned stag. 39% chance you fail to catch the thieves. And just delayed. 6% chance we'll catch the thieves and we'll stop the thieves on the road. For context, medieval dirt roads were sometimes reinforced with wooded planks to assist travelers with movement. However, similarly to stones from paved roads, they were oftentimes subject to theft. For instance, part of the 13th century French legal text, the Compatibility, discusses the regulations of roads and mentions issues with people illegally stealing stones or wooden planks used for roads, which causes these roads to be narrower than expected. Get in after them. We failed to catch the thieves. But I did become severely injured. But I'm still fine. God, so we need a physician. We don't have one because Aaron left. We stopped to rest one night at a tavern while I'm sitting in the corner piece enjoying some Longobardo music. The door barge is open and a large silhouette appears. Forrest swaggers in and the atmosphere immediately changes. People bow their heads and reveres. Some swoon and the barkeep immediately pours the apparently famous Fari's free drinks. Speaking of Fari's, really so special here. I could be like that if I train for 1 year. 20 prowess, I would hold a grand turn of my own if I had that kind of money. But these charge our food supply ships reveal the provisions all but useless. Have been fully stored. Patches of mold covered before this, and we have quickly used up the remaining dried food. Party grows hungry as dusk begins to fall. Nature will provide for us. Just get back home. Next episode, get a physician. Despite the fact of my extremely high prowess for at least a year's time. Because, you know, if I wanted it to, I could hold a grand turn of my own. Like, say, I don't know, archery again, for example. I wouldn't have the money unless you lower the things. So, put that to use. So, that's something I need to think about in the next episode. So, in the next episode, is Sawdan gonna live or die? Will I have a son or a daughter? All that and more in this brand new series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. But until then, so long for now.